Well, okay, everybody, we made it. Friday. Yeah. The end of this week, a week, another one. We got through it. We always do. I don't know about you, but to me, there is nothing more entertaining than keeping track of this absolute freak show. And I mean every single aspect of it. You cannot possibly make this up. If you were some kind of, again, a science fiction writer or a mystery novelist or something along those lines, and you sat back and you tried to create what we're seeing now, this Orwellian distortion of reality, it would be very difficult for anyone to do that. But for you and me, this is real. This is very real. And I can promise you, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it is going to get so real for people at one point that they're going to be running around the streets literally screaming, not knowing what to do. Because again, they've been lied to, they've been propagandized, they've been duped, and it's frankly out of control. And the setup here is pretty freaking ugly. Are you watching the headlines today all day? It's pushing a particular agenda, and that is this COVID thing. I'm just going to come out and say it. Seems to be worsening. Okay, cases are rising. Blah blah blah. Fear, smallpox, everything else. Look, you and I realize this, but I don't think people actually get it. What are they doing? They're pulling out their oldest trick in the book, and because it always works. They're playing the fear card. Make people afraid of one thing, and you can control their minds. That is absolutely the truth. Keep them distracted. Make them look over here, not over here. Keep people off balance, not understanding what's going on. It's always the same story. It never changes. It's a dynamic that always works too. But anyway, look, you and I, what we do here in this lovely blog is we cut right through the dog shit. We cut right through it. And we will remain steadfast in what we do, how we're doing it, why we are doing it. And that's really about it. So let's start off with the markets. I have a bunch of stuff to talk to you about. So a new all-time record high for the NASDAQ today. Okay, lovely, just beautiful. I'm kind of joking halfway. You got the Dow Jones Industrial Average today under some pressure, NASDAQ under some pressure, but that's not the story, people. There's so much going on underneath this. First of all, capital inflows, cash making its way into this market seems to be waning here. Okay, that's something that we need to pay attention to. That's number one. Number two, this issue with the yield curve over the last few days, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down. And today, it came down even further. Dollar strength, relative dollar strength higher. That's a fear trade. We're going to need to sit back and watch what they do. It's already being set up. We understand. Look, more lockdowns are coming. It's just a matter of how extreme they're going to be, okay? Look at crude oil. Got slammed today. Why did crude oil get slammed today? Well, it's very simple. The prospect that another lockdown would cause demand to fall, okay? Well, when crude oil falls, it affects other parts of the market, the energy sector, the financial sector, you know that. Enough of this is clearly enough to pull the whole market down with it. But let's look over at the MMRI. It's still above 90, but not much. About 91.6 the last time I looked at this. Look, the MMRI is frankly, it's it. And it's gauging market risk based upon debt. And I think it's an amazing indicator. We're going to keep our eyes on all of this. But let's look at the setup here. Like I've been explaining, the MMRI is a tool. It's one tool. You and I need to sincerely take in the global picture, what's going on, what's the propaganda ministry pushing, what are they doing here, what's their agenda here? They're trying to raise fear, talking about how COVID cases are rising, we're seeing lockdowns, a lot of stuff that is no surprise to you if you follow this blog. But things which can potentially hit this market. But again, look, I'm not expecting anything major to happen whatsoever. I would believe that soon, maybe it's out there already, you're going to start to hear from, a couple of people who consistently call for, this is it, it's the top, it's the market's going to crash. Tomorrow, run for the hills, sell all your stock. You're going to hear from these people. All right. They're looking for, again, another reason to propagate fear. They profit off of fear. Me, I do not want you to be afraid at all. I want you to be aware of things. See, when people get afraid, they make bad decisions. So, forget about it. Don't be afraid, because we're in the right spots anyway. Like I explain all the time. If you've been with Greg Mannarino, who's that? Oh, it's me. For any length of time, you understand how you should be attacking the situation. Again, when the market falls, okay, you really don't care too much if you are hedged, if you're in other spots here. You understand? You have to be somewhat hedged in this market, and sometimes you're going to see, for example, your risk-on assets fall along with your risk-off assets as well. Look, the market doesn't move in lockstep like this. It's a very fluid kind of a thing. But if you understand what's going on, I mean, at its core here, not only are you mentally prepared for what's coming, and I think that's humongous. You got to be mentally and spiritually prepared for what is coming. I always tell you, and I'm going to tell you again at the end of this video, to love each other, care about each other, be charitable, that we people, you and me, are each other's greatest resource. We need each other. If we would just embrace that kind of mentality and not let the freaks over here, divide and conquer us all, another mechanism that they've used since time immemorial, we would all be better off. But again, it's not like that in this new world order, this Orwellian system that they're thrusting upon all of us. It's out of control. So anyway, with regard to the market, that's the story. New record high for the NASDAQ, but I would be watching inflows where cash is moving here. It seems to be slowing down, and that's fear. That's fear that something else is going to come on down the pike, and you can see that being reflected, people, in real time. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You just got to know where to look. Look at the yield curve. Look at the debt market, okay, the action in the dollar. That tells you a lot if you just pay attention to it. You understand? Okay, with that said, you got cryptocurrencies doing well today. Gold and silver, unfortunately, reversed and finished lower today. Good. You know the game. There's no price discovery mechanism. We know who's doing it. We know why they're doing it, but we don't care. Okay, we are betting against the debt. We're becoming our own central bank, and that's all. Okay, from a financial standpoint, I think that's the best possible place to be for the inevitable... what's the word I'm looking for? For the inevitable flip of this environment from risk on, that means cash going into the stock market, although it's slowing down. Right now, it may pick back up, but right now, we're seeing this change a little bit. And it's the debt market, people. It's the debt market that you and I are looking at. When you see, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again, when you see action like this, yield curve coming down like that, it should almost reassure you in some ways that the big one is not here yet. When in fact, we see a reverse action here and yields begin to spike, that's our biggest clue as to when you and I need to start to rethink things a little bit and maybe move a little cash around. You understand? And I will keep you on top of it because I watch it morning, noon, and freaking night. And that's why I am the way that I am. Whether that's good or bad, I think is debatable. Anyway, people, let me go over a few things with you. So I explained to you how cash right now is flowing into the market, starting to slow down. Now, this is very interesting, and it plays into something I've been explaining for quite a while. So consumers, okay, are speeding up their rate of purchases. Okay, we know why this is happening, because inflation is surging. And this is not a new phenomenon. I'm going to cover it again because you will not ever, ever, ever hear this from any of the mainstream media propaganda freaking outlets over there. Throughout history, whenever we have seen surging inflation, people look to dump dollars. They look to buy things with dollars as their purchasing power is evaporating. This is not a new phenomenon. This is something we've seen, are you ready for it, since time immemorial. And it is not going to stop. This is interesting too. We found out yet again that margin debt, let me put a bigger perspective on this. Margin debt, the amount of cash traders, investors are borrowing to participate in the freak show stock market. Now, this is a tell as well to me, because this is something that we've seen over and over again. And I'm not calling a market top. I never do that. Okay, but when people start to borrow at a feverish pace, I have a problem with that word, feverish pace, okay, to participate in a stock market that seems to be doing nothing but hit record high after record high. Well, that's a tell that maybe things are about to roll over. All right, but what are we doing, you and I? We're looking at things like the MMRI. We're looking at the yield curve as a whole, more specifically the 10-year yield value of the dollar, relative value of the dollar. All right, and of course, crude oil, which is the lifeblood of this entire market. So margin debt is surging. No surprise to you people. We also heard this today. This is Fed President Waller. Fed President Waller. What a POS. I mean, I'm being serious. You know what POS stands for? I'm going to just leave it at that. Well, this is the takeaway today from Fed President Waller, one of the overlords. Oh, this is the narrative that the Fed may have to taper faster. Oh, wait a minute. You mean taper like last time? They didn't taper. They did nothing. All the Fed did, people, is lower their monthly targets. Remember, there's no cap. They lowered their monthly asset purchase targets with no top. They did nothing. Zero. You got it? Just lovely. So that's out of the mouth of one of the freaks over here. I want you to understand something else here, and I think you probably understand this. The internet is being whitewashed of anything that goes contrary to the mainstream narrative. Right here on this blog, comments are not being allowed to be posted. So if you feel like writing something that doesn't jive with the mainstream narrative, you have to put it in some kind of code, misspell words, something along those lines here, because they won't show them. People are writing to me all the time, Greg, they pulled my comment. Greg, my comment's not showing up. Yes, because if you have an opinion or a thought, okay, free thought is no longer allowed in the New World Order. You know that. No free thought, no free action, no free movement. Everything is curtailed. Vaccinated or not, they're locking these people down too. It doesn't matter anymore. So if you have a thought that you'd like to share that goes against the mainstream narrative, more than likely it will be banned. Okay, it's not me. It's that I want to hear contrary things. Okay, but they're not allowing these things to show up. And it's not just my blog. It's everywhere. The internet is being whitewashed. No free thought, no free action, no free movement. Oh, this is kind of interesting too. In case you were wondering, they always want to make you afraid of something. They want you to be afraid of exploding turkeys. Exploding turkeys. People are apparently, cooking turkeys and they're exploding and it's causing physical injury. Yeah, so be afraid of your turkey too. Can't make that up. Try to do it. Try to make it up. Can't do it. It's freaking impossible, people. Anyway, so look, welcome to this twisted Orwellian new system, okay, where you can't think for yourself. There's no free thought. It's not allowed. no free action, no free movement anymore. And people are willing to just submit. They are willing slaves. See, you and I, we're very unique. We really are. And I've been saying for the longest time there's a natural selection going on. You probably heard me say that if you've been with me long enough. And every time I say that, people get angry. People get angry over the most unbelievable things. They don't care what's happening to them. The Orwellian society around us, that that does not upset them at all. No, but you call them, you say a particular word, like retard? Oh, and they go berserk. Berserk, they can't handle it. But that's the society today. It's a dumbed down kind of whatever it is. It's beyond me to actually put down into words. But anyway, look, the bottom line is this. You and I will remain in the right spots. Do you know why? Because we know where to look. It's that simple. We simply know where to look. Okay, you want to know what's going to happen? You look at the debt market, because the debt market is the driving force behind everything going on here. Is it possible to still get a reasonable sell-off in this market without bond yields spiking? Yes, it is. But a crash will not happen. It will not happen. And I'm talking about the big meltdown that everyone is looking for. Okay? It's coming. It is coming. And it's going to take people by surprise. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be biblical. I want you to be ready for that. I really do. That's my goal, is to keep all of you on the right side of this, just like I have done for years. Now, with that said, I could keep going, but this video is getting long, so I want you to bring it in. Nobody's looking. Bring it in. I'll sit here and wait. Bring it in. Are you ready? People, every Friday I do this, and I'm going to do it right now. Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. Tomorrow, Crypto Kid, are you out there? All right. I hope you have your video ready. I'm sure people want to hear your perspective on cryptocurrencies as well as precious metals. I know I do. And you will see Greg Mannarino. Where is Greg? Greg. Oh, wait, that's me. You will see me Sunday for my Marcus Look Ahead. People, I mean this. I love all of you from my heart. I mean that from my heart. And we need each other. We need each other. We have to come together. Okay? They're trying to split us, divide us, conquer us, crush us, destroy us, wipe us out. Ain't happening. Not under my watch, if I can help it. I'll see you Sunday.